Akira Camargo, affectionately known as Get, has won the respect of teachers and students alike at his years here at ASIJ. I have been privileged enough to know Aki since kindergarten, and I know you only have to be around him to be positively influenced by his enthusiastic spirit and warm smile. Akira will be our second student speaker today.
I think everyone here knows that I'm a very emotional person from all the past things that have occurred this past week, but I'll try to keep it together. Okay. Library crew, picnic gang, ringers, bud buds, thespians, compound crew, skaters, the cliques of the class of 2014. I'm honored to stand before you to speak about the search of identity, something we high schoolers have struggled with, but perhaps learned from the most. Who are you? What community do you belong to? Where do you really fit in? As high school seniors, many of us have heard these questions over and over again, from college application prompts to motivational speakers at ASIJ. These questions make us realize that we have to be ourselves, be an individual. Yet, this is much easier said than done. As freshmen, we entered an overwhelming world and faced a wide range of opportunities. Opportunities to join community service groups, to take rigorous AP classes, to be part of sports teams, the musical, or the orchestra. We also face decisions about how to behave and who to be loyal to. And maybe some of us wondered if our actions were solely about gratifying others, rather than being true to ourselves. High school became a place where we had to begin making our own choices. And finding what suited us, what seemed authentic, took a while. Some of us were pressured to join the football team because our brother played. Some of us went to a party we really didn't want to go because we thought it was cool. And some of us were unkind because we just followed the leader. We have all been victims of various types of pressure throughout high school, but these experiences and the decisions we made at critical points in our search for identity are testaments to the journey of self-discovery. I had many instances where I doubted my identity. I felt like being different was not okay, so I hid a part of who I am. But doing so, I isolated myself from my friends and my family, consequently depriving myself of true happiness and fulfillment. During this point in my life, I recalled what my mother told me every time I faced trouble. 自分と向き合い, to face myself. I couldn't keep sulking because I felt different. In order to be treated like an individual, my mother taught me that I had to study harder, laugh louder, and reach further than I could possibly imagine. With my family's support, I was able to tackle this journey of self-discovery with courage, like many of you. And I would just like to thank the families of the class of 2014 who kept pushing us and taught us that in order to achieve happiness, we couldn't stand in its way. This courage also came to me easily because of you, class of 2014. Because despite the cliques, despite the many and varied personalities striving for individual identity, you are a very accepting group. Thank you for making me feel so comfortable expressing who I am in high school. A tough time for many of us. And thank you for making many others feel comfortable as well. And of course, this search for identity doesn't end here. Until the day we die, we will constantly redefine ourselves. Sometimes because of circumstances beyond our control, and sometimes because we strive to simply become a different person. There is a phrase in Japanese, miyomigaku, which literally means to polish oneself, to be the best you can be. And that's what we've encouraged each other to do. To think about ourselves as more than just narrow labels like nerd, jock, gay, or Asian. We must also realize that it is a privilege to be part of this safe and comfortable community at ASIJ. Once we leave this auditorium, it is our duty to make others feel comfortable as well. No longer should people feel defined by their looks. No longer should people feel as if sexuality is a sin. No longer should people feel confined by labels. Once we leave ASIJ, we might be inclined to judge, to label others negatively. But we must remember the sense of community and comfort that was fostered here in this class of 2014 to make everyone feel that they belong. Because that is what ASIJ has taught us. School is where we learn, and now life is where we do. So let's continue to strive for self-acceptance, for our own identity, but also create environments where others can too. Before my eyes, I see more than just clicks and labels. I see before me 138 teary, tired people, great people, who have one thing in common: the shared identity of being the class of 2014. And that part of our identity will be the thing that counts when we don't feel like we belong, when we're feeling alone, or struggling to understand what our individual identity is. I've fallen in love with a group of people, a group where I feel comfortable expressing who I am. Thank you for being such a beautiful mess of uncategorized people. Thank you for making us all feel that we belong.